Hi, I'm Kristian.
And I'm Heng Yeng. Welcome to our home. This is a 3-room BTO flat in Kallang. The location was obviously a huge plus point for us, but what really drew us to this area was the character and culture. Kallang is an older, more mature estate, and instead of a lot of big businesses or chains or shopping malls, there are a lot of homegrown shops. There's the local charm that we really like.
Fortunately, Heng Yeng and I are actually quite in sync when it comes to aesthetics. We are both people who really love colors and patterns and textures, so we actually really weren't afraid of kind of mixing all of them up. When we were figuring out what we wanted, I think we found ourselves both inspired by older eras of design. I think in particular like 70s interior design, and what that meant was it's much more maximalist, a lot of bold colors, a lot of bold patterns.
From there, then we sort of landed on 2 primary colors to drive the design. So you can see all around us that's pink as well as dark green, which I think for us is a really fun combination that has that quirky 70s sort of vibe that we like.
We knew that this was a pretty specific design, and so it was important for us to find an interior designer that maybe had worked on something quite similar before. We met quite a number of ideas, I think in total around 8, but Adrian from Fuse Concept really stood out. Not only was he very excited about the opportunity, but I think he really understood what we wanted without us having to explain our idea, and he himself I think came with some really cool ideas, and I think that's kind of what sealed the deal for us.
So one key consideration for us in designing the space was thinking a lot about hosting. We're very aware that it is a privilege to have access to private space in Singapore, so for us it was important to be able to open it up as well. So with that in mind, that's why we head to the spare room to kind of open up the living and communal area. We've also taken some space from this room to enlarge our master bedroom. We've opened up the kitchen as well. So while the spare room is mainly an extension of the living room, we also wanted to keep the flexibility of being able to convert it into an actual guest room, since we do occasionally have friends visiting from outside Singapore who would need a place to stay. So Adrian, our ID, suggested installing these mint green bifold doors, which we really like.
On top of that, also actually there is a Murphy bed in our bookshelf, which I guess you will see. Another thing that we wanted to be mindful of was wastage. Of course, we can't necessarily do much about kind of like the foundations and the structure, but we wanted them to be a bit more intentional with our furniture choices, our appliances, etc. And so actually a lot of the things in this house we bought through Carousel and Facebook Marketplace, a lot of hustling going down on negotiation. I think also what was cool actually about buying secondhand furniture was that we were allowed then to kind of like mix and match things, because you don't necessarily get a complete set with things, and actually that really worked. So for the kitchen, since we both like hosting and also a lot of cooking, we did want a lot more space, and so we decided to hack the wall in the service yard just to make the space a lot bigger. And it might not necessarily be clear on camera, but actually our counters and even our bathroom sinks are slightly taller than usual, because we're both maybe a little taller. Growing up, we found ourselves getting a lot of lower back pain when we had to like bend down too much.
Another thing we wanted was quite a unique and retro-looking fridge to fit with the theme of the house. So what we did was actually we bought a regular fridge and we covered it up with floral wallpaper.
Friends came down on a Friday night to help us kind of stick it. But honestly, I think that kind of actually really fits into the aesthetic, and it also, I think, then gives us a pretty fun story to tell people when they come over. So we did take a little longer, I think, for our master bedroom. We both had different ideas. I like a darker bedroom. Heng Yeng wanted a little more light, also because her work desk is there, and so I think just having a brighter environment would be really helpful for her. And she just likes the sun a lot. So what we ended up with actually was a bit of a compromise. We have this cream floral wallpaper which actually goes all the way up to the ceiling, which is really nice, I think, to look at night, and it's quite then reminiscent of, I guess, kind of like old school motels and sort.
We also extended the master bedroom using some of the space from our guest bedroom. Since the space was quite small, we also wanted to create more walking space for us within the bedroom, and also to create a sort of bigger and deeper wardrobe, because between the both of us, we have a lot of clothes.
For the bathrooms, of course, we had to stick to the theme, and so we have actually a pink bathroom and a green bathroom respectively. Our ID actually had a really good idea. He asked us to buy some secondhand cabinets. These old cabinets actually became our toilet vanities.
So we initially wanted wallpaper in the bathroom. So actually Adrian found us such a great fix by finding us these wallpaper look-alike sort of bathroom towels. And we had a lot of fun towel shopping, and I was personally a bit overwhelmed with how much choice there was and how many variations there were to choose from, but Kristian did great. At this point, we've been living here for about 2 years, and it's honestly been, wonderful. Part of the reason is definitely because of Adrian. He really understood, what we wanted. He had his own ideas that really elevated our vision and helped us pull together this dream home. I think he was actually even more excited than us to bring this vision that we had to life, which really says a lot, and we are super grateful.
Yeah, thanks to him, we really achieved what we set out to do, which was to create a space, I think, that brings many people together, our loved ones, but also the broader community, and a space that, they also feel like is their own. And since moving in, we've of course made a lot of great memories with each other, but also with a lot of our loved ones, and I think we are very excited to be making many more memories together.